Today on the Nerdy Gritty, Sony officially announced that their next console is in development. What do we want out of it?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I am Dez.
And I'm Fox.
Well, Fox, it's finally happened. Finally
happened
every
happened.
week. I love that I get to pick out the intros
Every
and I just
time.
don't tell you. It's wonderful. So Marvel has dominated the movie scene.
They have.
For years and years and years.
20 straight movies now.
For years and years and years, they have competed with DC in the comic scene.
Yep.
They have television shows, both animated and live action.
Yep, they do.
But there was just an area that they were missing out on entirely.
What
podcasts.
Oh, podcasts.
And so, recently, Marvel's Wolverine the Long Night is a podcast that has dropped. And it is a serial-type mystery that stars a couple of FBI agents as they're investigating a stream of murders in Alaska, in which Logan features pretty heavily in what's going on. I am 3 episodes in.
Okay, you're
2.5 episodes in.
Okay.
It's real good.
Is it?
It's real good.
All right. That sounds very interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, podcasts are popular right now. They're really popular.
Sure.
Just with the amount of Mabim Bam, like the McElroy brothers, and then Serial was really
right.
big
Well, yeah,
back.
there's lots of stuff going on right now.
Right.
Pretty mainstream.
But for Marvel to be the ones that are like, you know what? That's just an area that we haven't entirely dominated and owned. And
why not?
So let's go jump in there. And this is really exciting, and I like it a lot because it's really focusing on the mystery of it. It's not just like action Wolverine stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, Wolverine has been in like 2 scenes so far in an hour and a half of episodes.
Yeah.
It's very, very much these 2 FBI agents and one like deputy of the area. These 3 people,
gotcha,
just going around and questioning people and figuring things out. And there is some other stuff going on. There's a cult. There are like fishermen who were murdered. That's how it starts off with, like an entire boat full of fishermen who were murdered. Things like that.
Were they murdered in a way that seems like it would be, Logan? Like, they've got 3 puncture wounds.
So the fishermen were murdered, and they were clawed with what looked like a fillet knife.
Okay.
And it cleaned them, or cut clean through the bone.
Sure.
They were also drug dealing, we think. There's suspicion of that.
Right.
So there could be some like...
They're catching fish, putting drugs in those fish, and then selling them to people.
Well, actually what it is, and this is something that we often forget about Alaska, where they're talking about like, we're 50 miles from Russia. Yeah. I bet you it was a lot of people smuggling in from Russia.
Well, yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And I might check it out.
Yeah, I really
like me
really
some
recommend
Wolverine.
you do. It's really good.
I like me some stories that are not focused on action and constant violence, and especially when they're comic related, because that's my major complaint I have about comics. But yeah, so that sounds really cool.
What have you been up to, Fox? I've been listening to Wolverine.
So
on Friday,
on Friday, Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out.
Yeah.
It's if you've heard my review of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, my review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey is exactly the same. It's just as good as the one that came out before it. It's also pretty much exactly the same as the one that came out. There's
but
a couple...
could you Spartan kick people?
No, you could not. And it's so much fun. That is a way that I kill people levels above me.
You just kick them off of something?
You just kind of guide them toward a cliff. You get around them, and then you just Spartan kick them off of a major cliff, and they cannot survive it.
Well, like real life.
Yes, exactly. I mean, obviously, it's a little less like... They should die from one sword slash to the face. Like, you're stabbing them with the sword. They should die. That's one way.
When you level up in life, you become resistant to swords.
I forgot. From slash damage. Yes.
Right. It's the way it works.
But yeah, that's really fun. But I would positives. The map is massive, which is always really good.
Yeah.
It just gives you... I would almost say it's to a detriment, because it just feels like there's too much to do. which I've never said about a
that
open world game.
analysis paralysis where
But it's just like, wow, luckily I'm not recording this for the channel or anything. I'm just playing it.
Right.
So I'm perfectly fine going super slow. If I were playing it for the channel, I'd be much farther into it now. But as I'm not, yeah, it's a real good game. Biggest con is that it's pretty
the
much
same game.
not any different than Origins.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I feel like Assassin's Creed is becoming the new Madden.
Oh, it already was. They took a year off, made Origins, which was significantly like a big improvement on, but now that's just the new formula.
That's what Madden did a while back.
They just changed their formula.
Madden did the same basic thing a while back. Where I mean, they didn't completely change their formula, but they took a year off and then they added RPG elements and they added a bunch of different things like that.
Yeah, so they've just changed what they do every year. Luckily, I think it's a positive change. I like these. Yeah. More than what it used to be, with a few exceptions.
Not focusing on Desmond, was that his name?
He was the
future guy.
Yeah, well, he was done way a long time ago.
Yeah,
his story finished with the end of.
Not Black Flag.
No, Black Flag was the first one he wasn't in.
Right, it was the one before. It was in America. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 3.
Is that all it was called? Assassin's Creed 3?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there was Revelations that he was also in, and I think that was the last
PSP
one.
game, right? Wasn't that the PSP game?
No. Revelations was it ended the Altair story from the first one. Like, it was a good one too. But yeah, he hasn't been in a while. They still are doing the modern day thing. It's just far less prevalent.
They still are doing the modern day thing?
The Animus
I didn't
is still
realize
a thing.
that.
Yep. It's just far less of a thing, and that's if you're gonna put that in there, which I feel like they didn't really execute it in the way they should have throughout the whole series. Like, I like the idea, but it just seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna put it in there, then making it a very small part of the game, like they have been, is the right way to go. Yeah.
So another question I have for you is, how have you been sleeping, Fox? Sleeping okay?
Man, that first night we played Darkwood. We've
play
been playing a
Darkwood.
game called Darkwood. Atmospheric horror game with a few jump scares. I'm going to tell you that right now. You told me there weren't any. Which look. It's not a jump scare game, but there were a few moments that it's a thing.
It wasn't meant to be a jump scare. You just got attacked from somebody that you couldn't see.
Exactly.
It wasn't
I feel like
to
the
be
mechanic,
a jump scare like that.
The mechanic does set it up to happen. There were a couple. Either way, it freaked me out pretty bad that first night. Just because a lot of it was, the scariest part of the game is nighttime.
Right.
When you're just sitting there waiting and hoping that nothing comes into your room and it kills you. And especially the freakiest part for me was not when a door would open seemingly on its own, or when the dog got into the room and killed me. That one of the creepiest things after the fact was just that knocking.
Oh, that's right.
Was during the second night in the game, all you heard throughout the whole night, nothing else happened, was just a very light knocking at the front door.
Like a really polite knocking. Like,
it just felt like somebody was here and wanted to come in. You didn't want that thing to come in. It didn't matter what it was because you knew it wasn't good. But that was the worst because it was so subtle. It kind of did freak me out. I didn't sleep, but I didn't get to sleep for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't last a whole long time. I've had other things freak me out for a longer amount of time. But yeah, that did freak me out. It's a good game though. I will say it's a really good game. It's a fun game to play.
And for a game that's a top down, like a bird's eye view, kind of a roguelike. I mean, what would you call it? It's a top.
It's not a roguelike.
It's roguelike in as much as you are going out to search for resources and then come back and then go out to the same area and then come back.
Well, that's I mean, it's more of it's that roguelike is where things change.
Right.
Even when I died in the game, there might have been a person there that wasn't.
No, nothing
before,
changed.
But the world doesn't change. Roguelike has permadeath and stuff.
That's
why
I said it's kind of
a little bit, maybe roguelite, but even then, it's more of just a crafting resources tower defense. To me, is the more.
Well, it's kind of like that as well.
Top-down exploration tower defense game, kind of.
With a really fascinating story.
Yeah, sure.
There's stuff going on.
It's a really good combination of a few things that you don't see very often. Mixed together. Yeah, so look out for that coming out on the channel.
Yeah.
Sometime.
That's one that, because we're already doing Kingdom Hearts every other day, we're probably going to do that closer to the end of October and do it a daily, and just post an episode every single day. Yeah. So I, on the other hand, have jumped back into a bunch of new seasons have just dropped of TV shows that I watch.
New seasons?
Yeah, new seasons.
You jumped into new seasons?
Yeah, jumped right in and just sat down and binge watched people. Police came and told me to stop loitering and to put some pants on.
Okay. Wait a minute.
No, including Arrow and The Flash. Now, my wife and I have been watching Arrow and The Flash from the beginning. We don't watch Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. Okay. You're supposed to watch all 4. You don't have to, but
I'll do connect.
They have nods to each other a lot, except for once per season they do a big crossover. And as I've been watching, man, I appreciate these shows so much for a lot of different things. Number one, the combat cinematography is really good. You and I talk about long shots a lot where they don't switch angles a bunch of times. It's just one big camera pan and then that person moves around, and they'll set up an entire room of combat and have like a 30-second to 1 minute long shot where they're just panning around, and they'll focus on one combat for a while, and then that person will throw somebody and run after them, and right behind them now in center frame was a different combat, and they'll come in on that, and they just really good cinematography at the combat. The choreography is good as well. As somebody who's a martial artist, it's really cool to see good choreography in there, like combat choreography and things like that. And so particularly in Arrow, Flash isn't as good, but Arrow really does that well.
Flash needs a lot of combat choreography. Can he just run a million miles an hour and just punch everybody?
Man, they have to make the show interesting, but there are so many times that he runs to a place really fast and stops and then takes his time to look at things, and he'll be sneaking around a place and slowly looking at things, and I'm like, you can do this at super speed.
You can run fast enough that people can't see, man.
Yeah, you're the Flash.
What's the problem?
What's going on here? And so, but I'm watching right now a crossover event called Crisis on Earth X, and the crisis itself is actually just a foil. It's just the bad thing that's happening. It's the antagonist. But the real thing is it's Barry and Iris's wedding, the Flash's wedding. And it's also exploring other people's personal relationships. So there's the wedding. That's the central focal point. And it's making everybody else focus on talk about their relationships and what they want out of it. Nope. This is the real universe. Yeah. Oh, no. This isn't happening on Earth X. This is happening in the real world. Earth X is an Earth where the Nazis won World War II, and the Nazis have taken over the world, essentially. Essentially, yeah. And
Blazkowicz makes an appearance.
That their Supergirl, their superheroes are the generals of the world, and their Supergirl is dying and needs a heart transplant, and so they're going after Supergirl that we know.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, for the heart transplant.
Because they need a Kryptonian
right
heart.
And they need a Kryptonian heart that is guaranteed to match her blood type. That is guaranteed. Yeah. And it's them fighting each other. But there is one scene that, spoiler alert, the wedding gets kind of foiled by bad guys. Yeah, obviously. Exactly.
Anything.
But it is one of the coolest fight scenes that I've seen in a regular old television show, because they have all the superheroes from 4 different shows: Arrow, Flash, all of their sidekicks, Supergirl, and the entire Legends of Tomorrow. And essentially, they're just all of you use your powers. Everybody just go. And it's so cool to watch this fight where...
Like the airport scene, basically?
Yeah, a lot like the airport scene. Exactly, yeah. And it was really well done. Again, for a TV show, typically TV shows don't have movie-type budgets and things like that. Right. It was a really cool scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that happen too often or it gets boring.
Exactly.
But when it does, it needs to be epic.
It was exactly that. Nice. And it's their crossover event between all 4. My wife and I were annoyed because we're flipping through Flash and Arrow, and then we get to a point where it's Crisis on Earth X episode 3. Wait, where are 1 and 2?
That's what happens.
Well, got to jump over to Supergirl, and so
is there a watch order? I'm sure online you can find an optimal
Yes.
I'm sure most of the time
And
it doesn't
so
matter until
Flash,
a certain point.
for Flash and Arrow, Flash comes first, and then
Okay.
just every other one. We watch one Flash, one Arrow, one Flash, one Arrow, one
interesting.
Flash, one Arrow, one Flash, one Arrow. And again, it's not vitally important.
Sure.
But there will be times when, like,
They reference things that might not have happened.
ISIS's bachelorette party.
They're fighting ISIS?
Yeah.
What? Got really relevant.
and they're having a
and
bachelorette
ISIS
party.
has a bachelorette
All
party.
of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Iris, not ISIS.
There you
Iris.
go.
Iris Allen. Iris West. Iris West is having her bachelorette party, and one of the characters from Arrow goes to it, and of course things happen.
Yeah.
And then in the next episode, she just tells some people about it real quick.
Oh.
Like references it real quick. It's just little
Sure.
things like that.
Yeah.
So
It wouldn't
it's
have
great.
mattered. Okay. Nice. Well,
All right. Well,
I might watch those eventually, but
they're fun. They're a lot of fun, and I will say that, and this is the case with so many TV shows. In fact, and it's really dumb, but it's like this with almost all TV shows that I know of. When I talk to people, you got to get through the first season.
that's a pretty there are very few shows that aren't like that. Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But most shows, especially comedies,
Yeah.
or like lighthearted shows where they're trying to find exactly who the characters are when it's not a pre-written story, essentially. But yeah, that's true.
something we should talk about someday.
We should talk
You
about
got to
that.
get through the first season.
Right. Is that
How can you stop
acceptable?
that? Oh, yeah.
But I think it's time to get down to the
nerdy-gritty.
here.
Yes. So.
Because I think it's yesterday or 2 days ago, very recently, a couple days ago.
Correct.
Sony.
Well, when you hear this, it'll be like a week ago.
Sure. Yeah. As of this recording, Sony officially announced their next console, which, just to say it out there, we're going to call it the PlayStation 5.
I think they're going to call it the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's their standard
too.
thing. They
Right.
should. They shouldn't. Xbox One is the worst.
So many.
I hate it so
first of all,
much.
that it's called the X-Bone.
Yes.
XBONE.
The Xbox One already exists. It's called the Xbox. So PlayStation 5, we're just going to call it that. But they have announced that there's been rumors and rumblings for a while, but they've officially announced that it's in production. And I think what I saw was that there's a possibility of it being shown by the end of next year.
Really?
By the end of 2019.
Interesting.
Not released or anything. Maybe at like an E3 or
Right.
GDC or something. They do like here's what it might look like kind of
Now,
thing.
that would be interesting, although I will also say that I was at the E3 where the PS3 was very first shown,
Yes.
and it had the boomerang controllers.
Yep.
And it could support up to 7 controllers at one time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
See, I think that's smart. Hey, here's what we're thinking about. And then everybody hates it. And so they're like, all right, let's make it better.
Yeah.
Why not?
But except for when you're Microsoft and they did something and everybody hates you for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So in that vein, let's talk about what we think or what we would like to see from the next Sony console, because you and I own a Switch and we both use a PC, but our major gaming platform is a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change. I've always enjoyed PlayStations more than Xboxes for a couple of reasons.
For a long time, I've told myself, if I can afford both consoles, I will go buy an Xbox. But Xbox exclusives and the Xbox One have just been
it's
so
the most major thing for
poor.
me. Yeah. But so let's talk about what we would like out of the next Sony console.
So,
what do you got?
are you ready for this?
Maybe. Hold on.
I don't know if you are.
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
VR.
Wait! I'm now ready. Go ahead.
VR.
You want VR. You want that to be
Not exclusively.
Okay.
Not exclusively
Well,
by
sure.
any
That
means.
would be the dumbest.
Yes. But I want them to come out with greater support for their VR. Not because I love VR or because I think VR is but because I want them to take a Nintendo style chance. I want them to step up and say, you know what?
That would be what they would do if
Because the PlayStation VR is the best VR on the market now.
It's pretty
not the most powerful or whatever.
Pretty
else, but
popular.
The most popular. There we go. The most popular VR on the market right now. And for anybody to actually jump in on this and be like, all right, we're going all in the VR area, Sony's got to be the one to do it.
Sure.
They have the software support. They have the first party support. They have the money to do it.
They're pretty locked down on everything else.
Yeah.
Like their exclusives are really great. Like they're pretty much everything else is going pretty perfectly for them. So
right,
yeah.
Exactly. I think that trying to just remain status quo could actually hurt them, because they're on top of the hill right now. But if you just sit there quietly and Microsoft tries to come and do something else,
right,
that could just unseat them. Like, you have to keep climbing in some way. And so I think their best opportunity for that is VR. And again, I don't think that it should be like back when the Wii came out.
Sure.
Nintendo said any third-party thing you do also has to support motion control.
Oh, yeah, when they
no
made
matter
it,
what, you also have to
and
motion
a
control.
lot of games ended up having like one small mechanic that nobody used, but
Right.
you could use the motion control. And
Or a lot of third-party developers be like, cool, we're not developing
Never
for you
mind.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, sorry, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that should be the case, but I do think that Sony should do, like, remember PlayStation Home on the PlayStation 3?
I
what
do
a flop
remember
that was?
Yeah.
I think something to that nature where it's like a Sony community, but it's all VR would be pretty interesting.
So the Oasis.
Yeah.
You want the Oasis.
I want the Oasis, and I want to go to school in a virtual
Wait,
reality.
why?
And then,
you've graduated.
well, because the first key was on the planet with the school. But,
okay.
Okay, well, all right. I'm talking about the book. You
Yeah,
haven't read the book, you monster. Anyway, so, but I think just them kind of go into the VR realm, because let's face it, VR is not going away, just like motion control didn't go away. Whether or not it's as popular as the people think it should be, or like the future like people think it's going to be, whether or not it's, anything, it's not going away.
It's probably not going to go away entirely.
Right. Not like 3D did. 3D went away.
It did. Yeah, like 3D movies. I mean, that makes an appearance every 10 years, basically, where it's like, this is a thing now, and then it kind of sticks around. Okay, I completely understand your desire for them to take a chance on something.
Yes.
I think they should. I think it'd be safe to do. My concern would be that it maybe bumps up the cost. As somebody who is not interested in one freaking iota in VR, A, because I think it's a gimmick, and B, I don't think it's, I just think it's like, look, it's also got VR. I've played Borderlands 2 a lot, and I love it. I don't need VR to be able to love it, even though that they're coming out with Borderlands 2 VR.
Yeah, and unfortunately we lost the video of this just because of camera issues, but how joyful were you in Falcon Age?
I was joyful when I could carry a falcon and put a hat on it.
Yes.
That was cool.
No,
the game was broken.
The game was broken. The game was not
I did
great.
not enjoy
it was broken.
playing the game.
But you had fun because it was in a virtual reality setting.
I also had fun because I played it for 5 minutes.
That's true.
I have played VR. I played Minecraft for maybe 10. And by the end of that, I was done. I just, I didn't need it. It made me feel weird. Like, not sick or anything. It just felt, and that might just be adapting to the new perspective, but it felt completely unnecessary.
It made me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the rope in gym class.
Yeah, exactly. No, to me, I completely agree that they should do something, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's their chance, if that's what they want to go all in on. But I would hope that I'm not paying for something that I'm not going to use.
Or what about this? What they do is, and it's not necessary, but they come in bundles or something like that with a VR thing. And there are a lot of VR support, but at any time you can remote play your game on your VR headset. And you just put on your VR, and it controls normal. It controls just fine.
Sure.
But it's just right in front of your face now instead of from a distance or something like that.
So that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be really cool, and they'd have to deal with, and this is something that VR is dealing with now anyway, a lot of motion sickness and things like that. Because when a screen is that close to your face and you're not moving, but it is moving, then motion sickness is an issue. But
yeah, absolutely.
But for that's something that they're working on right now. VR across the board is working on motion sickness, and
they're always improving.
Something like that would be super cool, like just to be able to remote play whatever game you want to do. And
that's what I was gonna say is a big thing that I would really enjoy is something I don't expect them to do at all because of the niche that they fill.
Right.
And I don't think they should not fill that niche because somebody needs to, and they do a really good job at it. But I would like a portability aspect. I would like a Nintendo Switch style. You could just take this with you and play it wherever you want.
Hold on, we might be getting some audio issues here.
Hello. Okay, yeah.
Closer to your mouth.
I would like some portability. Now, again, I mean, the bottom line for me is always cost, because I just don't want to spend a lot on something. I think that's fairly obvious. But I would like the ability to play the games that I have at home somewhere else.
If I remember correctly, the PlayStation 4, when it very first released, I believe was $600, maybe even $700.
No. That was the PS3.
That was
PS3 was $600 because it had a Blu-ray player.
Right.
PS4 was, I think, $400.
Okay.
I bought it when it was $300.
Right.
But I think it was originally $400. I could be completely wrong.
So then what is your price point for a new PlayStation 5 release, 4K, etc.?
That is something we want. Yeah, there's going to be some upgrades to stuff that I'm probably not going to take advantage of because I won't have the correct equipment. But I would pay $400 for a new PlayStation, for a PlayStation 5.
$400?
That seems very reasonable to me. Even $450 maybe, depending. Of course, it depends. I would get it probably whether or not it I want to say that it depends on like the launch titles and all that.
Right.
But knowing who I am and knowing that we play video games for more than just entertainment, we play them for like YouTube and stuff, I'd probably just get it right off the bat.
I was thinking about that
like
too.
I did with a Switch. I knew Zelda was coming out, obviously, and so I was like, I'm going to get this either way. But I would have probably gotten it still, because also it was a really good price, $300, and I liked some intriguing things about it. But
we're getting a little off track, but has there ever been a launch lineup like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey?
Odyssey wasn't launch. Odyssey was like 6 months after.
Oh, was it that long?
Oh, yeah. It was,
I thought it was like
maybe
a month
not six.
after.
The Switch came out in March. Odyssey came out in October, I think. Yeah, it was
all
several.
right.
Yeah, the only like real like console selling game that came out with it was Odyssey. Or
Breath of the Wild.
Sorry, Breath of the Wild. That's always, this is we're still off topic. That's always been baffling to me, is how come a console never launches with a really good lineup?
Yeah.
You know, you have like a decade of development to come up with some good games for it. I mean,
Because the console will sell on its own.
It's true. It's true. I just really wish they would take time and like be better at it. Like release it with 3 really great games instead of like, here's some that show off the technical capabilities. I don't care about the technical capabilities. I care about great games. Like that's
Let's get back on track.
Yes, we should.
VR is one thing I would like to see him take a chance on. I have more, but let's jump over to you.
I think what I would really love, we had a conversation a few months ago about
modular.
If they created an entirely, if some company, Google was what we were talking about.
Yeah.
What should we look for in an entirely new, what would be successful? We talked about a modular console where you could basically attach different things that changed how it played, or, you know, memory upgrades that you literally just plugged into the side, whatever. That I don't think is going to happen, nor would I really want to. I don't want to have to worry about that. I would like customizability.
Okay.
Again, this is something I don't expect them to do, but what they do now, Sony, when a big game comes out, they will release a new, a God of War console or a Spider-Man console, and people will buy it. That's fair. It makes money for them. But I would actually really enjoy official like faceplates or like decals or controller customizations, which are a thing third party. But I think they could, like, if you could, it's completely unnecessary to the core experience of a console. I see that. But if they came out with a cool God of War like controller skin somehow, I'd consider buying it. I would consider doing that. And
so on that note, I think it would be cool if they had, your base PlayStation 4, $400. Then they had like a few options of $500, things. And one is like stream optimized. on this specific version of PlayStation,
Okay.
we have optimized the internet bandwidth, your frame rates, and things like that. And it costs more money now, but it's the best. Everything in there is a little bit different, and we've optimized everything.
Like the hardware itself.
Yeah, the hardware
better.
and the software that's inside of there is changed a little bit to optimize this stuff.
Okay.
Where if maybe you're not going to play online and maybe you're not even going to stream, then you're fine with the $400 one. That's going to be
makes sense,
great.
yeah.
It's going to be wonderful
That's
for
their
you
base.
On that. Or the one that's going to be like the co-op version or like the family version or something like that. It's like this one comes with more controllers already. This one comes with a couple of like games that are going to be, family based, things like that. And just a few like different versions that would really like pertain to each individual gamer.
Okay.
We live in an era where like, Burger King says have it your way. There's so many like
Is that still their thing?
I think so.
Oh.
Either way. There's so many like individually catered things that we do these days. It'd be cool if consoles did that as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're saying, like different skins and things like that.
Yeah, I would like some customization options. Oh, and one absolutely necessary thing I think they should do. The Switch controller has a button on the controller itself specifically dedicated to taking a screenshot.
And to be clear, this isn't the share button on a PS4 where you put share, you choose what you want to do with it.
It does not stop the game.
Right.
You press it, takes a screenshot immediately, and then the game continues, and I think it's brilliant. I love it because I really like taking photos of the game, like especially like if there was a presidential candidate in 2020 and their platform was all video games must have a photo mode, I would vote for them. I don't care what else they say.
That's okay.
I would vote
for
them.
Trump's 2020.
Woo! Trump 2020 photo mode.
Okay, I'm exiting
Yep, you
just
are.
that one. Woo! Trump 2020.
You're doing
That's
it.
Kyle Fox, and I'm gonna
Nope.
put that up.
Yeah, I love. One of my favorite parts of Odyssey actually is that I can go into photo mode immediately just by pressing L3 and R3 at the same time, and just then manipulate the camera and all that, and just because that game is beautiful and I think deserves to like take really cool action shots. I have a cool one where I'm like dodging to the side, but also a wolf is dodging to the other side, and we're like looking at each other, and it's super cool. And I really wish the PlayStation didn't take 5 seconds, I think, to pause and like give you a list of options. I really wish it was just like on Steam, you can also do the same thing. You hit F12, just takes a screenshot immediately. It doesn't stop the game. And I really want that.
Yeah. And so at that point, to me, when you stop, it's like removing you from the immersion of the game.
Yes.
You can have this thing in the back here that says that looks really cool, and you just hit the screenshot button, but you still want to stay immersed in what's going on in the game.
There are lots of times where I don't take screenshots or something or when I don't use the PlayStation thing.
Right.
Because, I don't want to I want to keep playing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It stops me from doing the thing that they want me to do. So yeah, just keeping me in the game, just take a screenshot. Also make it easier to access my screenshots. You can put them, you can like take them off of your console. It's actually very easy, quote unquote. It's not, you don't have to you just plug in a thing and you can find the file. But I just make it easier. Like I like doing that, and so make it easier to do so.
Let's jump back to the portability of it.
Okay.
The PlayStation Portable was a thing for a while, and it could connect to your PlayStation.
Sure.
Is that what you want, or
I don't know. I'm spoiled by the Switch.
I know, right?
Because the Switch itself is the portable.
But the Switch will never be as powerful as the PlayStation.
Exactly.
Though. Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the PlayStation not being super powerful. Unfortunately, that's what people expect, and if it doesn't, then people are not going to be happy and won't buy it. But I'm okay with the PlayStation 5 not being top of the line everything, because I don't think that's as super important to a game as lots of other things that we've talked about. But what I would really love is just to be able to take my PlayStation 5 on a plane or somewhere, or like when I drive a bus. When I'm on a field trip and I have to sit there for 4 hours and wait for them, I'd love to be able to continue playing God of War when I'm chilling. Even if it's like not as easy, if I have to still use my controller, but it has a little kickstand on it. I set it up just like you can. Like even if it's less portable than the Switch, I would still love to be able to portably bring it with me. Maybe it's even like, okay, we have a screen that you can then like take with you and plug into the core part of the console that you take. Like you lose some of the power. Like it's more powerful when you have it docked and can look just as good as, it's like top of the line 4K, whatever, but you remove the actual core part. It loses some of the processing power. You can still play your games, doesn't look as good, but you can take it with you. I think that'd be cool.
That would be really interesting and really difficult to do, though.
Yes, and I, again, don't expect it to happen.
What I want to see and what I think could very well happen, cloud gaming.
Yeah, that's already in the process, basically.
Right.
Yeah,
what I want is cloud rentals.
Yeah.
So
Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
Cloud Strife.
You want to rent
I want to
him.
rent him. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
I don't think that's legal, but okay.
No. I want to be able to see a game and be like, that looks kind of cool. Is it going to be good? And you pay $5 and you get to play it for an hour via the cloud. And then you play it for an hour via the cloud and you say, heck yeah, that was awesome. Or you say, no.
Yeah, they give you a time limit. Yeah.
And so, like, for example, if I had done that with Last Guardian, I probably wouldn't have bought Last Guardian.
Sure.
I probably would have been like, oh, no, thank you.
You just answered why they won't. Well, I mean, cloud gaming is a thing. What you're talking about specifically, there's why they won't do it.
But on the other hand, I bet you if I played an hour of Assassin's Creed Origins, I'd probably want to buy it afterwards.
It's very possible. Yeah, it's real fun.
If I played an hour
at the start, for sure,
of like Last of Us or any of these really great games.
Story focused for sure.
Yeah, and just all these opportunities, and they're like, I would think it'd be way more common for people to begin a story and a good gameplay and get partway through it, and a game that they weren't going to buy before, now they do buy because they got interested and invested in it with their $5. Then they got to pay full price again. So you've made full price plus $5.
Or they could just take that $5 off of your, if you buy it within 3 days.
Oh, that's cool too.
You just pay $55.
That's a great.
You bought the game.
Yeah, that's really good. Buy it within 3 days, and you get that $5 off, and that makes you make that impulse buy at that point too.
Yeah. It's it's cheaper.
I'm invested right
Probably
now.
Gonna buy it eventually anyway.
Now. Yeah, exactly. Like, I better get it now.
Yeah.
I can't wait and think about it because
you know who that would work on?
Me. Yes, exactly.
So what if they instead just brought back demos? Video game demos aren't really much of a thing anymore.
Right.
On the Switch they are. They're kind of prevalent on the Switch, especially for games that people don't know about. There will be demos for them. If there wasn't a demo for Odyssey or Super Mario Odyssey because everybody knew what that was and everybody knew it was going to be great, so you didn't need it. But so what if they just did that? And so what if it's the same thing? Where
I don't want to download it. I don't want a disc.
Okay, so that's the important part, not necessarily that it's the full game.
I want it off the cloud, and I want to be able to play that little bit of it.
Yeah.
And at that point, if I invest an hour of time into a game, into a demo, and then buy the game, and I have to start over again, whereas in this, you're playing from the cloud and you get a save of the actual game on your
Yes, that's true.
And then you go and you get to start off where you left off.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And now I'm just thinking about like what good a demo could do. Like what if a demo was a prologue to the story that was not necessary for the game.
Oh, that would be really
but
cool.
It was something that would help, like people would have complaints because they already complain about that with DLC.
Right.
But it could be cool. Yeah, I like the idea of cloud gaming, or just the idea that going to your different bundle, what if this is the $350 version, but it's cloud streaming only?
Oh, yeah, there's no disc input or anything like that?
Yeah, there's no storage space.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Interesting.
360.
Yeah, I remember
the 360 had the arcade version.
Right,
which I don't think had any.
There was no hard drive.
No hard drive.
But there was also no such thing as cloud gaming at the time.
Exactly.
And it was really stupid.
It's cheap. I think that to me was a bit of a shovelware thing, but console version. Like, oh, this one's cheaper. Let's just get that one. And then kids complain about it, and then their parents like, fine, I'll buy you a hard drive. So whatever. But yeah, I think that could be the even cheaper version, but it's got significant downgrade. Like you have to play it on the stream or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that could be.
I think that would work out really well too. Okay, so out of left field things.
Out of left field.
Just like insane things that probably you're not gonna happen. It would be really cool. Me, multiple controller support beyond 4. Like back, like they were going with.
Okay.
So like up to 6, 8, or maybe there's not even really a limit of controller supports.
Why? What game would use that nowadays?
Any sort of like, again, so this is the type of thing where I own 2 controllers, but I have friends coming over and I tell all my friends, everybody bring 1 controller and we're going to play PlayStation All-Star Arcade or whatever like, or like whatever sort of party game or,
the play
or
for the Switch,
Overcooked or something like that. Like, can you imagine a 2-screen, because Overcooked is up to 4 players.
Yes.
But split screen now, and it's 8 players, and you're competing with each other.
Everybody has 3 square inches on the screen to see what they're doing, and everybody hates everybody.
Everybody has a 60-inch TV these days.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody.
Mine's a lowly 42, 32.
Yeah. So everybody has huge TVs these days, and there'd be plenty of room to do that and whatnot. Sure. If you're not projecting 80 inches onto your wall with your HD projector, what are you even doing?
That's true. You're not. You're just casual.
Yeah,
you're filthy casual.
But that, I mean, just that in particular, how cool would it be just to have? You don't have to buy extra controllers. You don't have to do all this other stuff. You just tell each friend, bring your controller. We'll connect it to my system for this game, for the, like while we're playing tonight, and then you just have huge party, Jackbox party on your console, things like that. Like just real simple stuff that isn't that big of a deal, but just the ability to be able to say, let's have a party night, everybody bring a controller.
That's kind of a why not thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably reasons why not that I don't know about. Just more strain on the hardware, that kind of stuff.
More processing power.
For me, out of left field, which is out of left field nowadays, backwards compatibility. I want to play the now 40 PlayStation 4 games I own on the next console. I don't want to have them both plugged in. That's simple. Now, that's not going to happen.
System backwards compatibility would be really
It would make one system backward, just PS4. But it would make it much more expensive. It's essentially having 2 consoles,
right?
2 different consoles, and all of that. But I've invested a lot of money in my console right now,
right?
And I want the convenience of being able to play the games I've already purchased. Definitely, especially with like digital games I have, games that I can't just like play. Like I would love to be able to continue playing the games that I have, because right now they're the modus operandi is we'll just remaster them for every console and release it again. And the sucker that I am, I buy it every time.
And you have to buy it again.
You know how many times I've bought Final Fantasy X? Too many.
And there's just so many reasons that they don't, and it all comes down to money.
That's every single time, which I understand, and they do very good at the games that they make. The games are great, so I can forgive them a little bit. But I would just love to be able to continue to play the games I've already purchased on the most modern hardware.
I also want a picture of like Crash Bandicoot, Marcus Phoenix, and Mario, or whatever three.
It would be Master Chief, man. What do you?
Master Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And Mario, shaking hands with.
It would be Kratos, Master Chief, and Mario.
Yeah, but Kratos would just kill them. He would kill them both. Yeah.
No, he's beyond that now. He only kills guys who try to kill him.
He's a dad.
Or demons.
Yeah. Or demons. And then underneath it just says cross-platform forever.
Yeah, cross-platforming is, I mean, that's just something that...
Yes!
Like, that's just a... Like, why aren't you... That's not going to hurt you in any way, guys.
No, it doesn't. In fact, it's
going to help others.
Yeah, if me and my buddy have a PS4 and we meet some guys that have Xbox Ones and we want to game together and we're like, oh, we play... They say, oh, we play Fortnite. And we're like, oh, we don't own Fortnite and we own PlayStation, so no. But if they're like, we play Fortnite and it's cross-platform, maybe one of us will pick it up and buy it.
We've bought games just to play them for our channel or something.
Yeah.
So that's to me not like what do we want to see? It's like, if we don't, what are you doing? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's happening now, but I want them to like have a dedicated, hey guys, this is the standard from now on. The same way that online is the standard, the same way that, 4K is the standard, cross-platform forever is the standard now.
Now, in that vein, things that are happening right now, standard, maybe not standard, but part of this generation, is there anything that you don't want to see continue into the next generation? Something that you feel like is bad for the industry or bad for players, or I know we haven't really discussed this.
Right. I'm going to go with the amount of like things that you need, the necessity of purchasing an online pass. That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
So they essentially like you can be on the internet without an online pass, but that not going to do you any good at all.
Right. It doesn't.
If you want to do anything on the internet,
useful,
you need to pay us an extra amount of money a month. Now I get it because they have to pay people.
It costs them money.
Yeah, it costs them money to do that. But $50 a month or a year. I mean, $50 a year.
60 actually.
$60 a year, which there was a time that it was 50 and then went up to 60. And it's like, wait, you're not doing anything different.
Yeah.
You're just charging us more money.
Also,
now.
Nintendo started theirs last month and it's 20.
Right.
So
come on, guys.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. So I just think that that's kind of a money grabbing thing, and like the ability to watch Netflix. I think you need an online the online subscription for that.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not super positive.
What do you think?
Man, I there's a lot of things that most of what I would say is things that I don't care about, but I completely understand why they have it.
Right.
All the social stuff that they're trying to hit on, like share your videos and your screenshots, and seeing like your friends and they just unlock these trophies, and like I don't care.
Right.
I want like remember when the PS2 interface was actually a thing? You actually went into the PS2 and then could play your game, and it was crazy because that wasn't really a thing before that.
Went into the
before that you just put a game in and it started playing the game. And in the PS2 it went into like system files and like your memory card you could look at.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this seems unnecessary, but okay, I get the idea. But it was just so simple, and now it's like, oh, you want to play your game? Like, there's just so much to it. It's an all-in-one home entertainment console. It is not a video game console anymore.
Right.
Again, I completely understand. They are trying to get you to spend as much time as possible, both money and time-wise, on their console.
Last thing then that I want them either to get rid of that or to go all in on it and to make it your PlayStation Home or your Google Home or whatever. It's like where there's like essentially PlayStation Alexa.
Oh,
and there are little like places around your house that are like, hey PlayStation,
or even just on your console.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with Jim.
They have things like that already.
Yeah, true.
But I want it to be like your in-home thing where you have everything, and also when you leave the house, you can say, "Hey, PlayStation, turn off the lights," and it turns off the lights for you.
You want
like
smart
that.
home based on your PlayStation.
I want it all through my PlayStation.
So go do everything or nothing.
Yes, exactly that.
All right.
Look, if you're gonna be that, I don't want to have to be like, "Hey, PlayStation, turn off the TV." "Hey, Alexa, give me a recipe for this." "Hey, Google, please turn off my lights."
Do you do that right now?
No, I do none of them right now.
Exactly.
I don't have any of that stuff right now, but it sounds cool to me.
Sure. I would like more support. Like, I don't know, just think like be able to play the soundtrack from the game that you just bought. Have that included, like on the console. Not to download or anything, but just, you have God of War. You've purchased it. You can play it while your PlayStation's on. Like, even if you're not playing the game. That'd be cool. Things like that, or, I don't know, just simple things like that. But
all right. Well,
yeah.
Let us know what you would like out of a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox
2
next.
Xbox
X. Man, the naming of Xboxes
It'd be the Xbox 2.
Such a sordid thing, and
they started their numerical 3 consoles in.
Remember when it was going to be the Nintendo Revolution, and then they decided to name it the Wii?
The Wii.
So, anyway, let us know what you guys think about that. Let us know what you think of our ideas, and let us know what your favorite food is.
Yeah, it's important to me.
All right, guys, we'll see you later.
I'm keeping track.
Remember, saved games, save lives.
Bye, everybody.